Why, hello, everyone. Hello. If you don't know this voice by now, then why are you listening to this podcast on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music Podcast, or Podbean.com, or their official app, or watching this video on YouTube? What is up, guys? It is James, aka Jimmy Pancakes, and today is Wednesday, November 22nd, 2026, here to do part 2 of our Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood 2025 review. If you guys are brand new to either my podcast or my YouTube channel, and you're wondering, well, why is this part 2? For anyone that wants to get caught up, part 1 is available on my YouTube channel or my podcast. I recommend going to either listening to part 1 that was released yesterday on Tuesday, April 21st, 2026, or watching the part 1 YouTube video. Because in that video / podcast, I talk about why I was in a wheelchair on opening night, the reason why my co-host, my mom, Marsha, and I only did 2 mazes and the terror tram, and then we reviewed the 2 mazes that we did not do, and we also reviewed the 2 mazes that we did do, as well as the terror tram. So if you guys want to get caught up, once again, you can either listen to part 1 that's on all of my podcast streaming stations, or watch part 1 video that's on YouTube. So, that I wanted to get out of the way before we continue. And today is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026, when part 2 is being released to you guys, like I promised you in part 1. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, my co-host is back with me for part 2. Ladies and gentlemen, you love her. You know her. You love her. My co-host, my mom, Marsha. So, Mom, say hello.
Hello, everybody.
And, Mom, are you ready to talk about part 2? All of the mazes on the lower lot that we did not go through. We almost went to one of them, but we decided at the last minute to head back upstairs and do Terrifier and Poltergeist instead of doing one maze at the bottom. And I think we made the right choice after us watching the video for this particular maze.
Yes. I'm ready, James.
So again, just like in part 1, I'm going to recap for anyone that's brand new or hasn't seen any of my review videos. I do history videos and I do review videos. So any review video that I do, it's either Halloween Horror Nights, Hollywood. If we ever go back to Orlando and do Halloween Horror Nights Orlando, Not Scary Farm, any movie review, any TV show review, any food review, or any new event that I go to, any review videos / podcasts I do, we do a score from a 1 being the worst to a 5 being the best. for the history videos that I'm currently still doing, and I have a lot of history videos to get to because I've gone to a lot of Halloween events throughout the years. Those I do not do a score because they're from the past, and I just want people to know what kind of mazes they were, what experience I had with them, and stuff like that. Because a lot of people didn't experience the early years of Halloween Horror Nights. A lot of people didn't experience the years of Not Scary Farm. People probably didn't go to Orlando the 2 years I went to it. They probably never heard of when Rob Zombie did a Halloween event here in California in 2013. 2 years I went to Queen Mary Dark Harbor. I like to share my history of all the events I've gone to, talk about them, let people know about the history. So any history videos that I do for any of the Halloween events that I went to, those won't have scores. So just to clarify, any review videos will have scores from a 1 being the worst to a 5 being the best. And then history videos will not have scores. So is everyone up to date on that? I hope you guys are. Now let's get into our first maze. So again, we're going to do it in order of the way the mazes were laid out. And so the first closest maze, well, there's two ways that you guys could do it. You could either go straight to the maze that was at Jurassic and then go back to the one behind the Mummy, or you could do the Mummy one, then do the ones by Transformers, and then work your way back to the Jurassic Park maze. But how we're going to do it for this video, we're going to do Jurassic, then we're going to do the Mummy, then we're going to do the one inside the soundstage, and then we're going to do the one that's behind the T-pad. And there was only 4 mazes on the lower lot last year. And again, just for people that didn't watch part 1, we only did 2 mazes. And the Terror Tram. And the Terror Tram. And the 2 mazes we did, we already talked about in part 1. So the 4 mazes on the lower lot, we did not go through live or did not go through them. So this is only based off us watching them on YouTube. So just want to make that clear. Alright, so the first maze that we're going to talk about is WWE presents The Horrors of the Wyatt 6. This was located in the Jurassic World, or people still call it Jurassic Park Extended Queue. So, Mom, before we get into the details, when this maze was announced, what was your reaction?
My reaction is good, because this guy passed away. The brother was working with Michael Little and John Murray to bring this maze to Orlando and Hollywood. And I love the brother for it. So, like James has said, we didn't go through the maze, but we watched it on YouTube. So that's how that's how, we're rating the scores when we watch it on TV before we do the notes.
Right, and the way that I do it, so if we can't make it to a maze, if we went to the event, I imagine putting myself
inside the maze.
Inside the maze if we're watching it. So I'm thinking about how would I react if I actually went through the mazes that I missed last year at Horror Nights.
I'll do the same thing.
Marsha does the same thing. So Marsha did mention it probably Wyatt sticks out to you. So, a little history about this maze before we talk about it. So this is a tribute to a wrestler named Bray Wyatt. He created a dark hillbilly character that was just his regular name, Bray Wyatt. He was very popular for many years, but unfortunately he passed away. And for many years, he was trying to do something with Halloween Horror Nights, but it never had a chance to happen. So everything is a huge shout out to Mike Aiello from Orlando, because he is a huge wrestling fan, and Dallas Boo, who is the brother of
Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt, kept his brother's vision alive and created this family called the Wyatt Six. And he allowed both Hollywood and Orlando to do a maze. And again, shout out to Micah Yellow. If it wasn't for Micah Yellow, we would not have this maze both in Hollywood and Orlando. And so I'm going to talk about each character as we get to the room through this maze. But just a little bit more history. So there are little differences from the maze in Orlando and Hollywood. Orlando's maze was in a soundstage, so they could do bigger sets. They can add a lot more things, which I have seen their Orlando version of the maze. Really kicking myself that I couldn't make it to Orlando to see that maze in person. But they recreated some scenes that were not in Hollywood. And then Hollywood did some scenes that were not in Orlando. So if you were a fan of Wyatt, Bray Wyatt, or the fan of Wyatt Sits, and you wanted to see both versions, you either could watch it on YouTube, the best way to see both versions, or you had to travel to both Hollywood and Orlando if you wanted to see it live. So, I'm going to say this, I love the Hollywood version, but in my opinion, Orlando's version was much better, but we're not reviewing the Orlando version. I can only do the one for Hollywood, so I'm going to be fair to the Hollywood one, and I'm going to give my accurate score of it. But in my opinion, the Orlando one was better, but case in point. So, if you don't know the lore of the Wyatt Six, this was part of the WWE storyline. So after Bray Wyatt passed away, his brother Dallas Bowden created a character named Uncle Wyatt, and he and his family of crazies or crazy hillbillies wanted to get revenge on the wrestlers and WWE itself. That was the storyline for WWE. That was not the storyline for the Hollywood one. So here's the story for the one for Hollywood. You're going into the Wyatt Swamp family house, and they are trying to convert you into a cult. They call themselves Fireflies. Another reference to Fireflies in a maze that that I already talked about in 2023. The Last of Us. The rebels in the video game were known as Firefly. So there you go. You're going to see each member of the Wyatt Six. Now, the reason why they're known as the Wyatt Six is because the sixth member of the Wyatt Six is the spirit of Bray Wyatt, who basically the story is his spirit is in the lantern that the uncle carries, or you see throughout the
maze.
The maze. That is the tribute to Bray Wyatt, and that's how he's tied into the Wyatt Six storyline, because there's only 5 characters that you meet, and then Bray Wyatt is supposed to be the 6th character. So, a little confusing, but I wanted people to understand that. So, that's basically the storyline for the Orlando, or for the Hollywood house. So, the facade for this, so I also want to let you know the first rooms that you enter were different from the Hollywood version and the Orlando version. So, the facade, of course, is the swamp house that I told you about, and then the first actual room for the Hollywood version, not the Orlando version, is you're in their dining room with hanging heads and stuff. So then you go around the table, and there is a window that has the name Uncle Howie on it. So I should clear it up. The brother, he was known as Uncle Wyatt, and then they changed his name to Uncle Howie because they didn't want to disrespect Bray Wyatt, his legend. So WWE and the brother changed it to Uncle Howie. So when the Wyatts had first started, he was known as Uncle Wyatt. Then they changed it shortly after that to Uncle Howie. So for people not to be cleared. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to say Uncle Howie instead of Uncle Wyatt. So just for anyone, they don't get confused. So then you go around the table, and there is a window or a mirror, or it's a window or a mirror, and it says Uncle Howie on it. And then, of course, that's the first scare actor that you see is Uncle Howie, which is the brother's character of the Riot Six. Then the next room that you enter a black hallway, and you see these little birds on them, but then realizing they're not birds, they're fireflies. So my mistake, after rewatching it, they are actually fireflies, not birds. I put birds in the notes.
Yeah.
And then you see another Uncle Howie. He's holding the lantern, and he pops out and scares you. He's on a platform. The next room you enter in a hallway, and you go right, and you see one of the Firefly members, and he's like a gross, Firefly. He's looking like a human Firefly, and that's like one of the cult members and stuff like that. That's the best way I can describe this character. So you already met Uncle Howie, who is the first Wyatt Six member. Then we now meet the second member of the Wyatt Six, which is you enter a forest area and you see the next member of the Wyatt Six, which is WWE superstars Nikki Cross's character. She's known as Abby the Witch.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
She comes out from the right side and scares you. Then you enter the next area of the house where it's her room, and you see like a witch cauldron and stuff like that. And there's a scare in there that either it's a live actress that pops out that's dressed up as her, or it's a dummy. It was really hard to tell.
Right.
That comes out of the cauldron.
Okay. Got it.
So then the next area enter, I call it the pig room, because you see pigs hanging and some victims in cages. And you meet the next Wyatt Six family member. He is played by WWE superstar Jose, and then his last name is Gach, and his character, I don't know how to say his first name, but I'm going to spell it. It's Huskus, the Pig Man. So I'm not going to try to say his first name. I'm just going to say, if we see this character again, I'm just going to refer to him as the Pig Man, so people don't yell at me. And he comes from the right. Then as you are leaving, you see the uncle again, so you see Uncle Howie again. Okay? From the right. He's on the platform. Then you walk into another hallway, and there's Gus, and then you're attacked by the pig boy again. And then you enter the next room where you meet the next Wyatt Six member. This one is by WWE superstar Dallas, or it's Dexter, and his last name is Lumis.
The first name's Dexter.
Dexter, thank you. I don't know how to say his last name, and he's known as Mercy the Buzzard. So he's like a buzzard character.
Okay.
So that's so far 4 of the family members that you meet.
Okay.
He pops out from the right side, and he is on stilts. And then, of course, you're like in this nest area, and you see 2 dead bodies in his nest that he has killed.
Okay.
Then you meet the 5th member of the Wyatt Six family. He is WWE superstar Eric Roman. And he plays Rampage Rabbit.
So he's like a rabbit.
He is a rabbit character.
Okay.
So you're in a dining room, and then there's like a party going on, and the rabbit comes from the left-hand side, and he has his favorite sledgehammer, or it's a little bigger than a sledgehammer, but it says help on it.
Help?
Help on it.
H-E-L-P. Help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Then you enter a room, mirror hallway, and you go right and left, and the rabbit pops out again and scares you. So then you pass a red door that says the Firefly Funhouse just for people that don't know, I'm gonna do another history lesson. Basically, Bray Wyatt played many different characters during his time with WWE, and so WWE wanted to do a little kids show, where Bray Wyatt would play as the host, and then also Alyssa Blitz also helped with the show as well. And it's basically like a fun-loving family thing called, it was called Firefly's Funhouse. And so he would dress up like what Mr. Rogers did for his TV show. So it was kind of that feel.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
I would say vibe.
So they do a reference to that in this maze.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. So this is where you meet the Alyssa Bliss character. She is on the right side, and she is swinging on
a swing.
On a swing, and the costume that she wears, it's her favorite thing. It's when she was with Bray Wyatt. It's called a black, like, top, or kind of like a sports bra, but it's all black, and it's a skirt, and both of them say Twisted Something on it, because she's supposed to be like a psychotic girl that's twisted. I can't really name it, but, you know, she was part of the Bray Wyatt storyline. That's why they had her reference in there.
Right.
And then you finally meet Bray Wyatt's character as well. So you had Bray Wyatt, the dark experience, or the dark, scary hillbilly. That's what the word I was trying to say. But then he also did another character, which was called The Theme, and he was a darker version of his character from the Firefly Funhouse. So it's basically the darker version of that character.
The really, really dark version.
Really, really dark version.
Okay.
And so the Alyssa Bliss scare actor, she's the distraction, and then he pops out from the left outside a mirror. Which
so Alyssa in the swing, she's the distraction, and his character comes out and scares you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Which was the theme. It was the darker version of his hillbilly character.
Got it. Okay.
A more darker version.
Got it.
As you were exiting, you were back in the forest where you see Abby the Witch again comes out and scares you, and then you immediately enter the barn, which is on fire. And I'm going to say this for my viewers, because a lot of people have asked this question when I mentioned about Evil Dead and stuff. We'll get to those years. But they said, did they use real fire? And I'm going to say this. No, it's not real fire. It's a video screen that has the fire on it, so they're not using real fire. Just want to make that clear, because a lot of people are going to ask this question.
Because why would they use real fire when the actors are in there?
Exactly. So then you enter the barn, and behind one of the barn doors, before you get into the actual barn, the pig boy again comes out and scares you. Right, so you had the witch and the pig boy both on your right hand side, one after the other, so you got a double scare before you enter the barn. Then if you look up, most people don't look up, but I noticed this. They had a dummy of Bray Wyatt dressed as his character of the Theme. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then you go down the hallway and you make a right, and then again you see Bray Wyatt come out again dressed up as the Theme for one last tribute. And then you go down the dark hallway and you see a poster honoring Bray Wyatt. And depending when you go inside that maze, what's supposed to happen is you look at that photo and then Uncle Howie comes out one last time and scares you. Sometimes the character's not in there. Sometimes he is.
You mean the uncle in that room, the last room?
Like the last scare, like you're looking at the poster of Bray Wyatt, the tribute, and then he's supposed to come out, kind of like what they did for Frankenstein, when you saw the Frankenstein poster and Frankie came out.
Right.
Or Creep Show when Creep Show came out, that kind of effect.
Okay, got it.
And that is the end of the WWE maze. So, your thoughts, Mom?
It sounded really good. I wish we saw it. But, like James was explaining what happened in the wheelchair and stuff, it sounded really good. I saw the video of it. So, my score, very well done. I'll give it a 5 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Very well done.
Yeah, I really did enjoy this one. I was a huge fan of Bray Wyatt. I enjoyed what he did with WWE. I enjoyed his storylines. I kind of fell off after Bray Wyatt passed away. I was like, there's no reason to watch WWE until the Wyatt Six showed up.
Right.
And then it was awesome to see it again. So it brought my spark back to WWE. So I really have no complaints for this maze.
Will you give it, James?
A 5 out of 5. I think Orlando and Hollywood both did
a great job.
Did a great job. The only thing that I'm kicking myself is I wish I could have seen the Orlando version in person, because I honestly would have loved that a lot more. But the Hollywood version was good. They did a tribute. You got to see every single Wyatt Six family member.
Right.
Including Alexa Bliss. So, yeah, fantastic. So, again, props to John Murdy, Michael Yellow.
Everybody.
The brother that allowed this to happen. So, everything.
Great job.
Great job.
Great job.
Mom, are you ready to go camping?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Maybe. I think I know which maze. Jason maze.
Yeah. But would you want to go camping at at Camp Crystal Lake?
No. Would you?
Maybe.
If I was with somebody, I would.
Well, would you like to take a tour of Camp Crystal Lake?
Sure. I would do that.
But the tour is called the Death Tour.
If I go with you, I would do it, James.
Okay. So if you guys don't get this reference...
we're talking about Jason.
We're talking about Jason Universe. This was located behind the Mummy. So for this maze, they continue the saga like they did last year for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where they do a tribute to Jason in this maze. But this one's a unique story. I know that there's a lot of people watching this video that are afraid of going camping or being afraid of the dark, but what if you were a YouTube blogger? What if you were a news anchor? What if you were starting your own touring company and gave tours at the abandoned Camp Crystal Lake?
Mm-hmm.
This was the plot of this maze. But here is the official story for this maze. A group of urban explorers call themselves Dead Tour who traveled to the abandoned Camp Crystal Lake to document the site for their social media channels, which isn't a good idea with Jason.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think people now get the reference of what we were doing.
Right. You don't go camping alone at Camp Crystal Lake or explore everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the entrance to this maze was Camp Crystal Lake, and you saw the Camp Crystal Lake sign. So as you were entering the facade, on your left you saw a dead tour guide right at the beginning of the maze. So you know that you're not supposed to go in there. Like if I saw a dead camper or a dead tour guide,
I wouldn't go in there.
I wouldn't go in there. But you have no choice. You have to go in there. But of course, if you're not going to listen to yourself, how about a friendly helper? You meet your first live actor who is Crazy Ralph, who warns you not to go in there. It's not safe. But would you listen to a crazy guy?
I don't know on that.
But nope. You guys go in. You don't listen to the crazy guy, and you don't listen to the warning, seeing one of the dead tour guides in there.
You go in and trouble abusing.
Trouble abusing. So you basically enter a hallway, and to your right, you enter the first room, which is Jason's mother's shrine room, where you see Jason's mother head, and then you go to the right. There's a window that has lightning that hits you, and it's the dummy of Jason, little Jason, that was in the water, and the dummy is on your right, and then to your left, you turn around and there's a live actor that's the same, that looks the same, and he comes out from a window and gets you. So distractions on the right, live actor of Lil Jason is to your left. So then you go down the hallway and you pass a dummy that's on the chains, and then you go to the left and you get scared by Jason from Friday the 13th Part 2, or better known as Sack Jason, because he did not have the
Mask.
famous hockey mask until Part 3. So then you go down another hallway. At the end of the hallway, you go to the right, and again, another Sack Jason from Part 2 pops out and scares you from the left. The next area you enter is the forest, and to your left you see a dummy of Crazy Ralph, who is dead. The only person that told you not to go through there, and Jason was upset that Crazy Ralph was telling people not to go in there. So Jason took care of Crazy Ralph himself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So Crazy Ralph is dead. You're in the middle of the...
There's no one out there to tell you not to go in.
Not to go in. So, now we get to one of my favorite scenes from every Jason maze that they have ever done. Basically, we call it the Volkswagen roof stab scene, where, of course, there's a person in the Volkswagen trying to start the car, and this is the first time you see Jason Mask from part 3 trying to get into the car, and then he is stabbing the roof to get to the person. And just a little fact for people that want to know fact, in the 2007 maze and 2008 maze, which was my first year going to Horror Nights, thank you very much, that Volkswagen was orange, and that was the same car that was used in the Skeleton Key movie that starred Kate Hudson. But this version is a red car, so I don't know if they painted it, if it's the exact same car, or if it's a different car.
Right.
So if anyone has any idea, please let me know. So after that scene, you see a campsite with hanging bodies and people in the lounge chair. So this is probably the group that went in and was filming for their social media. And of course, one survivor's trying to get out with the Volkswagen, and of course the Volkswagen is not working. So then you go straight and you see a video screen of Jason in a tent stabbing someone. And then as soon as you make the corner, Jason comes out. He has the hockey mask on and scares you. Then you're still in the forest, and you go into another cabin where you see a dummy of one of the people that went into Camp Crystal Lake to film, and you see Jason twisting his
arm,
his head, and taking it off with the body. And then after that, I went ahead. So that's before. So you see Jason stabbing someone in the tent, which is a video projection. Then Jason comes out, scares you. Then you're walking. You're still in the forest. You are going into another cabin, and you see a dummy of one of the people with his face shoved in one of the electric boxes, and his face is being shocked. And then we get to the scene that I was just talking about, where Jason is behind a body, and he has a fake head, and he's pretending to pull it, and then he pulls off the
fake
head. And for people that don't know, the performer that's in the fake body, he can stand up and pretend to grab you, because where his eyes are in his chest, so we can see you guys coming. Then after that, you go through a hallway, and you see a dummy of Jason with carrying a head on one of his hands. You go through more hallways. I call it the murder hallway because you see lots of dummies of the urban explorers, or aka Death Tour, the people that wanted to film for their social media, and there's bodies everywhere. It must have been a huge group. And then as you're about to go into the next room, Jason is in front of you, Jason's in front of you, and he puts his fist through one of the dummies. Of course, he's wearing the mask again. Then you're back in the forest, and you're heading towards the cemetery.
Fun.
Then you get to the cemetery, and before you leave to go into the next room, Jason from Friday the 13th, Part 7, comes out and scares you. Or people like to call it the Jason corpse with the chain around his neck.
Okay. Got it.
Then you go into the barn area, and again, Jason. This one is from Friday the 13th, Part 6, where he has a machete.
Mm-hmm.
But he also uses other weapons like a spear. A spear that kills fish. And then sometimes he also uses a bow and arrow. Mm-hmm. Which we're going to see in the next scene.
Right.
So then you enter the barn. Jason's on one side of the barn, and he's on a platform, and he has a bow and an arrow. And then this all happens on the left side, and then as soon as you're exiting the room, the victim comes out. Jason pretends to shoot her, and the arrow hits her in the head, and she stumbles back behind the curtain. Then immediately as you're exiting that room, Jason comes out from the left and scares you again. And then to the right is the mess up Jason from Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. He comes from the right, and then again, Corp Jason pops out from the right side again. Then the final scare is Jason with the hockey mask. And then that is the end of the maze.
Okay.
So, your thoughts and then your score on this one.
Oh my gosh. What can I say about it? Really good maze. Very well done. All the Jasons from all the movies. I mean, what else can I say about it? Definitely a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Yeah, I really have no complaints. Like,
no,
we didn't have some from like 5 or 6, or Jason X, but they did some good
scenes.
They did some good Jasons. They pulled some that were good.
Right. What's your score, James?
For me, 5 out of 5. Like, I think they did good, and
yeah.
I honestly like them doing this. Like, they did a tribute to Texas, and now they did a tribute to Jason.
Yeah.
Honestly, the next one I think they need to do is Michael Myers, but that would be kind of hard because he doesn't really change that much.
Right.
So
Jason does in all the movies.
Well, Jason's a little boy in the first one.
Right.
And then there's different versions of him, so Jason was easy to do. There's different versions of Leatherface.
Right.
I mean, they could do it with Michael, but
it's going to be hard.
It's going to be hard. So again, my score for Jason Universe is 5 out of 5. Okay? So we thought about what would be the next one. So if you're leaving Jason Universe, like as soon as you got out of the queue, like you're next to Transformers, the ride that I worked at for about 3 years at Universal, proud ex-employee of Universal, there's a hill that you can go down, and that leads you to where the Scarecrow maze was. But we're going to go back to Scarecrow because we're doing it in order the way that we would have done it. Like, if we wanted to get Scarecrow the way we would have done it, but most people, the next maze is the one that people really were excited about, and we want to get the most excited one out of the way first, then we'll go back to Scarecrow. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next one we are going to talk about is in Soundstage 15, and this is the one that I referenced at the beginning of this video / podcast, the one that we almost did first, but we decided to head up to the upper lot instead to do the two mazes that we talked about in part 1, which was Terrifier and Poltergeist, but this is the one that we could have started with, but we did not.
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's, located in Soundstage 15. So, this one was based off the first Five Nights at Freddy's movie that came out in 2023. Or no, I think it was 2024. I might have the year mixed up. It's either 2023 or 2024. I want to say it was 2023. I don't think it was 2024, but I could be mixed up. It was either 2023 or 2024.
Got it.
And it was not based off the video game because the creator of the video game would not allow it.
Got it.
But because Blumhouse, again, you can kind of see a theme that we're going with, because Blumhouse, I'm going to say it again, Blumhouse owned the rights to the movie version. They did it based off the movie version instead of the games.
Got it.
So just to get this out of the way, there was about between 7 to 8 scare actors throughout this entire maze, and all the rest were animatronics. So just to let you know, this one was not a heavy bass scare actor maze. It was more mechanic. So I think they had a good mix between live actors and mechanical ones.
Things, yeah.
Mechanical / puppets.
Right. Got it.
And they worked with Jim
Henson's
Creature Factory to make it as authentic as they can. So, like, when you stepped in the Five Nights at Freddy's, you saw Freddy Fazbear. You saw the characters from the actual movie. Like they try to make it as authentic as they could.
Right. Got it.
So, just wanted to get that out of the way to let people know. So the facade for this maze was Freddy Fazbear's pizza parlor.
Okay.
Try saying that 3 times fast. Don't. And this is the parlor that you worked as a security guard in the first 3 video games, where it takes place, and this is where it takes place in the movie. And I just wanted to talk for a moment the difference between the video game and the movie. So, in the video game, you work as a security officer or a security guard that's trying to survive Five Nights at Freddy's. Because something happened. In the movie, instead of going for the security guard, they try to get the daughter of the security guard, and the ghost children are controlling the animatronics, trying to get the daughter to join them. So that's just a little difference from the movie.
Okay.
Okay?
Got
So
it.
in the first room, you walk into a hallway. You enter the pizzeria for the first time. Like you're in the entrance, and on the right and left of the hallway, you see photos and drawings everywhere. Trying to establish that this was once a family-friendly pizza joint.
Kid-friendly pizza joint.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of like Chuck E. Cheese.
Right. Got it.
So at the end of the hallway, you see a TV screen where a worker says it's time to meet the pizza place star, and then she hits the button, and then the video cuts out.
Okay.
So then the next room you enter is the dining room where you see Freddy Fazbear live, and it's an animatronic. And then there are 2 sheet covers, and there are video projections of Bonnie, who is the bunny animatronic, and Chico, who is the chicken animatronic.
Okay.
Then you meet your first scare actor, who is the first ghost child that you see, and he has a hook on his hand where his spirit is the one that's controlling Foxy the pirate, the Fox animatronic.
Okay.
Thank you. The next room that you enter is a kitchen where you see Chico, the chicken animatronic. And to the left, you meet your second scare actor that comes out, and it's a ghost child who's a girl who, her spirit is the one that goes into Chica's chicken animation or animatronic.
Okay.
Then you exit the kitchen. You meet Mr. Cupcake, who comes out and scares you. And if you don't remember, Mr. Cupcake is another lost child or something like that. I can't remember at this point. He's either a lost child or he's something else.
Right.
But in the video game, as well as the movie, Chica is the one that's holding Mr. Cupcake.
Okay.
So then you leave and you meet Carl, who is one of the robbers that was trying to get the main character, the Mike, the security guard, fired, and also was trying to destroy the pizza place, but you meet him with his face torn up because he's attacked by Mr. Cupcake. If you remember that from the movie.
Yeah, I remember that.
Then you walk down the hallway, and to your left you see Freddy's palm come out, and then on the left-hand side you see Mike, who is the main security guard from the film, being chased by Mr. Cupcake, and he indicates to try to get the guests' attention for help. Next, you walk into the security room from the video game as well as the movie, and you see a door to the right, and you see multiple security footage, but no one comes out from that door, but you hear loud sounds like fuse boxes popping, and the monitors are going wacko.
Right.
Just like what they do in the video games. In the later video games, I should say. Not the first video game, but the later video games.
Got it. Okay.
But no one comes out from the door on the left side. Now, I'm going to suppose a question for people that are listening to this or went to the actual event. Just to be cleared, this is from what I read from sources, but if anyone can confirm, did someone come out from that door, I would really appreciate it. because I want to know. So if anyone has any information about that, you can message me on any of my social media sites or leave me a comment, because I thought that Mike the security guard came out from that door, or am I mistaken, or a different character? So please let me know, because I didn't see it in person. Thank you. So then, as you exit the security room, Mr. Cupcake comes out from the left and scares you. Then at the end of the hall, you meet another animatronic that comes out in front of you, which is the Fox animatronic, which is Foxy the pirate. Then you meet another robber that broke in. His name is Joseph. In the movie, he is the leader of the gang, and he breaks into the pizza parlor after seeing his friend Frank get killed, and also is helping his aunt Julie destroy Mike's credibility to get custody of their daughter Abby. He comes from the left side with a crowbar. Comes from the left side with a crowbar. And then at the end of the hallway, you see a video shadow of Bonnie in a closet. Then you enter the basement / animatronic workshop, where you see a ghost child with bunny ears, and it's a boy, and he's the one that's in the spirit of, and the spirit is the one inside Bonnie the rabbit animatronic. Then you see a flashback of an old security guard before they hired Mike getting put into one of the animatronics and getting killed, and then the security guard comes out from the right hand side. In the movie, they tie him to a chair to get him inside the animatronic as the gears come towards his face, and they also do the same scene with Mike.
Mike the security guard.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you leave the basement / animatronic workshop, and on your left, the giant puppet of Freddy comes out and scares you. Then you go to the right and you see the ghost girl. You see the ghost child, who is the first victim, who is the one in the animatronic of Freddy, the main character.
Okay.
Then you walk down the hallway and you see a closet door that's open, and that's where you meet the third and final robber, Hank, that comes out with a crowbar, and then he is attacked by Bonnie, who is the bunny animatronic. This is on your right hand side, and then on your left hand side, Bonnie's hand comes out and scares you. Then you're in a storage closet or storage area where you see Foxy pop out again. Then to the right and left of you are shelves, and you see some old arcade machines as you go past Fox. After you go past Foxy, you make your left, see the ghost child again. That's the ghost child for Foxy.
Mm-hmm.
Then another one runs in front of you, and you see Freddy pop out. Then you're back in the storage room where you see Chica and Mr. Cupcake pop out and scare you on your left hand side. Then at the very end, you meet the man who started it all, William Afford, in the animatronic that we call Springtrap, the yellow bunny suit. So if everyone's wondering the difference between the video game and the movie, in the video game, he is cornered by the spirit of the child, and he jumps into Springtrap, the yellow bunny, but because it was on it was on at not manual mode, but animatronic mode. The gear started and he got killed, and that's when the children, after getting their revenge, left the animatronics. But in the movie, he's the one that hires Mike at the beginning to pretending to be a hiring agent, and at the end of the movie, he is in the Yellow Bunny suit or Springtrap suit, and he's the one behind everything. He tries to get his cop daughter to help at the end, but then the animatronics turn on him, and at the end of the movie, he is dragged out, and that is the end of the first Five Nights at Freddy's movie, so you have to watch part 2 to see what happened to Alfred and the continuation story. And that is the end of the maze. And right now, as the recording of this podcast / video, the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is currently on Peacock, and Marsha and I are planning on watching it, and that might be a future movie review video coming soon. A video / podcast coming soon. So that is the end of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay.
So your thoughts, Mom, and then your score.
I like the maze, but the only problem is all the animatronics, and there was hardly any live actors in there. You know, they should have more live actors in there. But I understand it's the animatronics. I understand that. I enjoyed it. It was when I was watching it, it was a good maze. But that's the only problem I had. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 because of not enough live actors.
Okay, 4 out of 5.
What do you think, James?
5. I'm going to say they did everything correctly. I liked everything they chose, so really for me, there was no problem.
Okay.
I like the movie. I can't wait to watch the second one. And that's all I really have to say.
You giving it a 5 out of 5?
I'm giving it a 5 out of 5.
Okay.
Alright, so now for the final maze that we're going to talk about in this video. Is Scarecrow Music by Slash. This was in the T-Pad location. So just a quick history of this maze. Originally, this was a maze that was created in Orlando back in 2017 for HHN 27. Then in 2022, Hollywood decided to bring this maze for the first year. The first year, it was located in the Carrier Shorts Tent 1. That's where Terrifier was this year in 2025. Then 3 years later, they decided to redo this maze that was located in the T-Pad location. And this year they decided to work with Slash again, where he did the music for this maze.
This year.
But they have a long history of working with Slash. For many years, he did music for Clowns 3D. That was the first maze he ever collaborated with. All the way back in 2014, he did the music for most of all the Universal Monster mazes, and then he's back to do music for Scarecrow. And then also, just the reference, you can also find this maze if you want to ever see it again. It's also located in the year-round Halloween experience that's in Las Vegas. The Universal Unleashed. This
Horror
is one,
Unleashed, I think.
Horror Unleashed. Horror Unleashed. Sorry, thank you. Well, it's Universal Horror Unleashed.
Yeah.
And it's one of the 4 mazes they have there as well. So that is the brief history. I'm not going to talk about the 2022 maze. Because I haven't got to that yet. So, again, just like the Poltergeist maze, I'll talk about the difference when I finally get to the 2022 one. So, the only thing I'm going to say is the facade was the exact same
house
from the 2022 one and this year. It was an abandoned farmhouse with corn. They had fencing. And a scarecrow in it, so then you walk down a hallway to the right, then go to the right, go down another hallway with vines and stuff in your face, because it's an abandoned farmhouse. Then you hear the sounds of crows in the first 2 hallways. Then you meet your first scare actor that comes out from a hole in the wall and scares you. Then to the right, a door opens again. Another scarecrow actor pops out and scares you. Then you enter the dining room where you see food left over and other things. You see some dead farmers and their wives as well. Then there's a window where you see a scarecrow pop out on the left-hand side with a hook. Then you enter kind of like a lab where the scarecrows are turning humans into scarecrows. You see one of them on the table being stuffed with hay, and then 3 other ones against the wall that are dead. As you exit that room, another scarecrow comes from the left and scares you. Then you enter a hallway on both sides. There are shelves. There are jars filled with shelves, and I don't even want to imagine what's in those shelves, Mom.
I can't imagine either. I don't want to know.
Then to the left is a scarecrow pigman that pops out and scares you, and you're entering like the slaughter area of this house. Then as you leave the area, you see more dead farmers and their wives, as well as scarecrows. One of them is on your left-hand side that pops out, or right-hand side that pops out and scares you. Then you enter the next area on your left. You see the same character that pops out that you saw previously. Then you go down the hallway that leads you to the hanging bodies, where a scarecrow pops out right in front of you and in front of the hanging bodies. Then you turn to the left, another one comes out and scares you. They're in an outside area, and you see a porta potty, and to the left you see a dummy scarecrow. Then as you're about to exit that room, there's a scarecrow that comes from your left and one comes from your right and scares you, so you get a double whammy.
Right.
Then you enter the barn area. You enter the barn and you take a left, another scarecrow pops out and scares you. Then you go to the right, another one pops out and scares you. Then you go to the right again, another one pops you. So there's like 3 scares on that same area as you're going through a hallway. Mm-hmm. Then you get to a new area where it's the ravens area, where you hear the ravens again. On the right, there's a dead farmer. And then on the left, there's another dead farmer. And then people have told me this is the crow's nest is the official term. And they were dropping water on you like the crows were pooping on you.
Ew. Okay.
You want to talk about that for a moment?
No, it's too gross to talk about. So, no.
And then you go.
Don't think so.
Then you go down a long dark hallway with no scare actors. You enter another hallway where you see lots of dead farmers and wives against the wall on the right and left. You keep going straight, and there's more dummies, but some of them are live scare actors that pop out from the right and left of you. Then you enter another nest room, or another live actor pops out and scares you. So then, this I think is the best scare of all of it in the maze. You enter a cornfield, it's the final room, and immediately on your left, there's a scarecrow that pops out and scares you. Then you have a crow that's on stilts that is in the center and scares you. And then immediately, as you're exiting that room, another scarecrow pops out and scares you. So you get 3 scares all in that one room.
Mm-hmm.
Then as you're walking down the hallway, you have more hanging bodies. And then one final scarecrow pops out and scares you. And then that is the end of the maze. So, your thoughts on Scarecrow music by Slash?
I always like the scarecrow mazes. This one was a lot better than last year's, or whatever year it came.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked this one when I was watching the maze with you, James. I really liked it. So I will give it a 5 out of 5. I really liked it this year.
Okay.
What do you think, James?
For me, I liked it.
But
I noticed that there were some changes that they did from the 2022 one to the 2025. But if I didn't know about the 2022 one, I would enjoy it. But seeing the changes that they made, and just thinking about the 2022, I could be completely off. But I'm glad that Slash did the music for this. I did enjoy it.
yeah.
But I have to give it a 4 out of 5 because there's some rooms I'm thinking about from the 2022 which were a lot better than what they had in this maze. So that's the only reason why I'm
Doing it a 4 out of 5?
4 out of 5 because
Okay.
there's one room in particular in the 2022 one that blew me away, that made me so scared, and we'll get to that. I'll get to that when I get to the 2022 one.
Yeah.
What is up, guys? This is James, aka Jimmy Pancakes 20. If you guys are wondering why there is an edit point of me talking before you hear the ending part of the podcast, when we originally recorded part 2 at the very end, it was one long podcast, but now there's 3 different parts and it's all combined into one video / podcast. When I was editing the video / podcast, I noticed when we got to the very end and I was talking about both my co-host's mom's social medias and my social medias, she got confused of what her social medias were because she thought it was one thing, but it turned out to be a different thing, and the one thing that she said she did not want to air. So that's why I had to edit this part 2 to take out what she did not want aired. And she was concerned if it did air what she said, people would abuse it. So that's why she didn't want to say it. And it's something personal that she uses every day, and she didn't want wanted to be shared. So that's why there's this little edit, and you're never going to hear that audio of the original outtake of part 2, like the ending part. So now here is the re-recording take 2 of our ending of the podcast part 2, where we talked about the 4 mazes on the lower lot. So here is now the ending, the retake ending of part 2. Alright guys, so that is going to wrap up our Halloween Horror Nights part 2 of part 3 of our series for Halloween Horror Nights 2025. So tomorrow, Thursday, April 26, is going to be the final part, and in that part we are going to talk about the scare zones, we're going to talk about the shows, and we're going to talk about something that was the first time they ever did at Horror Nights in Orlando. Well, I would say they have done it in Orlando, but they had multiple groups that did it. But for Orlando and Hollywood, having one individual character do this, it was the first time for Hollywood and the first time for Orlando. But I'm not going to spoil what it is. You're just going to have to wait for part 3, aka the final part, to come tomorrow, Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. So, Mom, your final thoughts of part 2 before we wrap up this video / podcast.
All the mazes were amazing. What I saw, because James and me didn't go through all of them last year. But we're planning to go to all the mazes this year. And I enjoyed the mazes that we saw.
Yeah, me too. So Marsha is talking about that we are planning to go more times to Horror Nights this year. Last year we only went one time, and we're going to talk about more details on that as it gets closer to the event, because right now we have no idea what mazes are going to be there. We don't have no idea about tickets. We have no idea about the shows that are going to be there. We have nothing for HHN 26 as of this moment. But I'm going to do a short video / podcast next week, because they did announce the dates on social media, and I'll do a small video / podcast talking about that next week, because I'm holding off to see if we have any other news. So that is pretty much it. So usually at the end of these intros, I will say what social medias my co-host Marsha has. But for this one, for part 2, if you listen to the audio before this, you know what I had to do. I had to edit and stuff because she said something. So for her to know her correct thing, I would like her to say it for the first time ever.
You can find me on X and Twitter at MarshaFan1960.
So X is formerly known as Twitter. So you are correct at 1960. What is the other social media that you have? Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah. So
I have X and I have Instagram.
and your username on both are
Marsha Fan 1960.
1960. So links to her social media sites will be down below. And then if you want to follow me, your host, James, aka Jimmy Pancakes, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or at AK, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and I also post on the YouTube post tab on my YouTube channel. Alright guys, so this was part 2. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you again for my co-host Marsha for joining me for part 2. And
You're welcome.
she'll be joining me again for part 3. That's going to be coming out again on tomorrow, Thursday, April 3rd. Alright, sorry. Thursday, April 23rd, 2016. We'll see you, April 23rd, 2026. I'm thinking of 2016 for some reason. It's 2026. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your night, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this video on YouTube, and whenever you are listening to the podcast. I was your host, James, aka Jimmy Pancakes, and we'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.